young student once asked their rabbi, "Why do we dip apples in honey on Rosh HaShanah?" And the rabbi answered, "So the year will be sweet." And the child thought for a moment and then asked, "Then why don't we dip broccoli in chocolate?" Just giggling back there from the playground in case you can't hear it. They like that one. There's wisdom in that. Gratitude isn't about changing everything into what we want. It's about savoring what's in front of us. Tonight we dip apples in honey and express our gratitude for the blessings, the sweetness that we hope to taste in the new year. This past year has been challenging. We've weathered so much change, and it just keeps coming, doesn't it? I've heard over and over from many of you that the world feels broken somehow. We are witnessing events and bearing hardships that are difficult to navigate, let alone talk about. Continued war and violence in Israel and Gaza, lost loved ones, lost jobs, anti-Semitism at an all-time high, seismic shifts in political discourse. Last year, every time I turned around, something else needed my attention, not just for a minute or two, but for hours. And when I responded, was I saying too much or too little? Would I lose a friend if I spoke my heart? Would we lose a congregant? The current state of the world can feel overwhelming. It can make us terribly sad, lonely, even disconnected, which makes us want to disconnect more from our loss, our grief, our pain. And I understand that. But the rabbis teach us in Pirkei Avot, Al tifrosh min hatzibor, do not separate yourself from the community. Why? Because in difficult times, we need community more than ever. When I look out and I see all of you, I feel so incredibly grateful for us, this congregation, this community. We have one another. None of us are alone. Tonight we come together to celebrate a new year. In this space, we don't all agree on immigration policy, trans rights, reproductive rights, Israel, Gaza, and many other issues. But our Jewish tradition demands we come into this sacred place with generosity of spirit and openness, that we treat each other with care and compassion, that we are kind and gracious to each other, even if our perspectives differ. Imagine if we could bring that out into the world. If we were to extend all those positive, powerful feelings out there, imagine the change we can make. We are living in a time when people are forgetting how to treat one another with decency and dignity. The way we talk about human life borders on the banal. We are afraid to talk honestly to one another for fear that we'll be misunderstood or worse. So we walk on eggshells, or say nothing at all, or if we don't hear what we want to hear, if we sense any kind of pushback, we walk away from the table. And right now, there are too many empty seats. We can't live like this anymore because it is literally killing us. We need a reset. It starts tonight, and it begins with gratitude. Gratitude is such an important concept in Judaism. The rabbis teach that we should say 100 blessings each and every day. Why? Because our very survival depends upon it. Every time we show or speak our gratitude, it provides us with a moment to take a breath, to notice, to confirm that we are not taking life or the people in our life for granted. Our family members and our friends certainly, but also the barista who makes our coffee, the stranger who holds the door open for us, the teacher who spends extra time with a child. When we express thanks and appreciation, it heightens our awareness of the world and those around us. There's a reason that gratitude is built into our very first prayer of the day. we recite Modeh or Moda Ani Lefanecha Melech Chai V'Kayam, and we thank God for the chance to wake up again. Those 100 prayers are often centered around what we might call the everyday, the mundane. Prayers of thanks for the food we eat, for the double rainbow in the sky. There's even a blessing for greeting someone you haven't seen in a long time. We don't always express our gratitude automatically, and the rabbis knew this. That's why they created these prayers and built it in. 100 prayers, 100 blessings every day. Centuries later, research shows that when we notice those moments, feel grateful, and then express our gratitude, it leads to greater happiness. It improves our mental and physical health. It can actually help us sleep more soundly, build immunity against disease, and even help us live longer. Tyler Vanderweel of the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health explains that gratitude makes people feel happier. That in itself has a small effect on mortality risk. Practicing gratitude makes it more likely that someone will show up for medical appointments or exercise. It may also help with relationships and social support, which we know contribute to health. Our brains are hardwired to notice the negative first. It's actually built into our evolution. But by engaging in practices of gratitude, we can retrain our brains to focus and notice the positives. Gratitude also calls on us to appreciate not just the people we know and love, but the stranger too. Why? Because Judaism teaches us that we have a responsibility to care for those who dwell among us, to never forget that we were once the stranger. That's what it means to be God's partners, to fulfill our responsibility to treat the stranger with the same love and respect we do our family and friends. Tonight on Rosh HaShanah, we begin to ask ourselves, who have we been? Who do we want to be? What mistakes did we make last year? And what can we do better? Are we bringing more wholeness and holiness into the world? Are we giving people the benefit of the doubt? Are we acting with our best intentions towards one another? Or are we profaning God's creation? Rosh Hashanah is a reminder for us to go back to the beginning, to our origin story, that we could and would be God's partners in creating the world anew every day. This summer, I had the opportunity to reflect on who I am and who I want to be. It was a sort of pre-high holidays exercise in a way I didn't quite expect. I headed to a ranch outside Santa Fe to participate in an interfaith clergy retreat run by the Modern Elders Academy. In preparation, we were asked to spend some time considering those things we would want to let go, the aspects of ourselves we wanted to change. It ended up becoming my personal tashlich statement. We were told to write something down on a piece of paper, something that we wanted to change about ourselves. And then on another slip of paper, we wrote how we would embrace a growth mindset, what we would do differently, a commitment to teshuvah, if you will. And then we described how we were going to follow through on that commitment. But unlike tashlich, we threw the words that described what we wanted to release into a fire. And then we placed the other piece, that other slip of paper, what we wanted to change, in our pocket. And it reminded me of Simcha Bunam's teaching that each of us carries in our pockets two slips of paper. One says, I am but dust and ashes, and the other one says, the world was made for me. I left that retreat feeling lighter, more open, and also with a sense of urgency that I needed to make this change now, because studies show that if you don't make the change within 72 hours of learning about it, it's not going to happen. So make the change now. And here's what I wrote on the piece of paper that I kept. Make more time for gratitude. Notice the beauty in my life. In the midst of all the brokenness, recognize and acknowledge my blessings and share them. Blessings are an antidote to all we see that is separating, dividing, and even isolating us from each other. They provide a rubric, a common language that expresses positivity and compassion and acknowledges that kindness exists in the world and is dependent on our actions. Every Shabbat, we read these words in our prayer book. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. The words we share and speak in our synagogue should inspire and guide how we engage in the world. Remember those 100 blessings? It might sound like a lot, but what if we just start with one, or maybe two? Blessings can be transformative. I've seen it happen. People who have had the worst week join us for services, and as they recite the prayers, you can see the tension, the pain, the stress of the outside world fall away. They stay for oneg, they talk to a friend they haven't seen in a while, or perhaps they make a new friend. Along with blessings, gratitude can create a sense of holiness, and it can motivate us to create opportunities to manifest our gratitude for others. If we can capture our gratitude in real time instead of waiting to express it, even better. So this slip of paper was burning a hole in my pocket when I returned home from New Mexico. So I picked up a small notebook I could carry around. Instead of trying to remember moments of gratitude I had felt throughout the day, I could now jot them down in real time. And I started with the easy stuff. The beautiful flowers my husband brought for Shabbat. The much-needed coffee my colleague picked up for me. The baby I named, who is now my bar mitzvah student, standing under the chuppah with two former confirmands, now a wedding couple. Think about it for a moment. What sparks gratitude for you? When your granddaughter calls to say happy birthday? When your sibling shares the last cookie? When your teenager kisses you goodbye before they go to school and you didn't even have to ask? It happens. When your friend invites you to a Pink concert? Maybe you hit the mark for a 10-day streak on your Peloton. Perhaps you aced a test in school, mastered a difficult dance move, or finally perfected a piece of music that you've been practicing. Or maybe you just simply had a dance party in the kitchen. Or one morning you woke up before your alarm and you witnessed a beautiful sunrise. Or perhaps you took a drive with the car top down, or you walked the Billy Goat Trail with a favorite four-legged friend. Who sparks gratitude for you? Ask yourself, who makes me feel good? Who demonstrates kindness toward me? This spring, the New York Times reported on a growing trend. It started on TikTok, as many do, and many men were embracing it. They were calling their buddies simply to say goodnight. At first, many of the men on the receiving end were confused. They thought something was wrong. Initially, they laughed, they even teased each other. But before long, they were sharing deeper conversations that strengthened their friendships. The article is, on TikTok, men are calling each other to say goodnight if you want to learn more about it. But they talked about that deepening sense of friendship and connection. We must not shy away from saying to each other, I appreciate you. We have the ability to not only strengthen our relationships, but when we do, and when we say thank you and express our gratitude, we have the ability to extend each other's lives. When we make room for more gratitude, we do that, and we can do that each and every day. This year, let's count our blessings and express more appreciation for what we have, because when we do that, we might actually start to heal what is so broken in the world. And to that end, tonight, when you leave, we are giving you a gratitude book to take with you. Only this time, you're the author. Make the time to count the moments that bring you joy. It can just be a word, something that will help you remember the moment. Write them down, and then share your gratitude with others, with your family, with your friends, with this community. And as we begin to share our gratitude with one another and for one another, together we will make it a Shana Tova, a good year, a sweet year, a year that is filled with blessings. For that, we can all be grateful. Amen.
Amen.
As we mentioned, there is that prayer that we say at the beginning of the day, Modeh or Modah. But there's another prayer that many of you know if you come and are with us on Friday nights. It's a prayer that's called our Hoda'ah. It's our prayer of thanksgiving, our prayer of gratitude. It is one that typically we take the time to share our simchas, our blessings. We're not going to do that tonight, and we're not going to do that in this moment. We're going to ask you to do that later when we leave, to share that moment of gratitude with someone seated near you. But for now, we're simply going to praise God and give thanks.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life. Wonder, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of the soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty. Modi manach lach, Modi manach lach. Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Melohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Modi manachnu lach. For the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us, for all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatoshimcha